Hey guys, looks like you're already on to the second assignment. So let's take a look. We are now looking at cognitive development. Um, I really love this assignment, and it's going to correlate with an assignment you're doing in module 7. Oh, wait, let's see, we're module 6 as well. But this is when we start talking about pre-operational stage and symbolic thinking of preschoolers. Remember that pre-operational stage is pre-operational. So Piaget talks about operations not being like an operation you do in the hospital or a rule that you have on a piece of paper, but that children don't have full concepts of how things work. So they are still trying to figure things out, but they know that there are certain ways that stuff works. And so their brains haven't completely functioned in a way that things are concrete. And this includes regular rules. Like, for example, when I used to teach at an elementary school, one time there was this 4-year-old, and he was outside after school playing handball with a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old. And they started playing handball. If you play handball ever, you have to bounce the ball. So you hit it and it bounces, it hits the wall, and then it comes back, bounces, and you have to hit it before it bounces twice, right? So the 6-year-olds are playing no problem. A 4-year-old comes up to play, and as soon as he hits it, it hits the floor, hits the wall, comes back, and it goes to hit twice. And when it's his turn to hit it, it bounces twice. And they said, "You're out." And he's like, "Nuh-uh, because sometimes you can let it bounce at least one time during a game." And they're like, "What?" Um, and so 4-year-olds start to see that there are these mechanisms in the world, but they're not exactly sure how it works. So they start creating and designing and having these mental ideas about how things work. They don't really know quite yet. They're still trying to figure it out. And that's why it's so important to recognize that kids this age are still learning, and to punish them or to give them severe consequences when they are still trying to figure it out, that would be really, really problematic. So let's take a look. What you're going to be doing is looking at these two videos, and they're two of my favorite videos in the world. And you're going to see how children's brains are different when they are 3 or 4 years old from when they are 5 or 6 or 7 years old, right? And again, doesn't have to do with intelligence. It has to do with the way our brains are processing things. Okay. So what you're going to do, make sure you read this. Super important. You're not going to make any sense if you don't. And what you're going to do is you're going to come down here, and after you've watched those two videos, you're going to discuss how understanding how a preschool child's thinking and reasoning, mental structures and abilities alter how a teacher or parent's approaches to parenting or working with that child should be. Okay. I'll tell you one more story. Um, I was at an airport one year, and I watched this dad walk, and they were coming up to where, you wait for the airplane, right? And it was a dad, he was pulling his small suitcase. And then after the dad was a 2-year-old. Now remember, 2-year-olds aren't even in pre-operational stage. So they really don't understand how the world works yet. And they're very egocentric. So they think everything is about them, right? So, this 2-year-old is following the father, and then the mother is trailing in the back with her suitcase. And the 2-year-old was pulling this little Cookie Monster backpack. It was so cute. And as they get into the area where they're waiting for the airplane, there's a lot of people sitting around. And as they turn the corner, the 2-year-old runs his little Cookie Monster, her Cookie Monster, right over this man's foot. And he begins to yell. He's like livid about this 2-year-old running over his foot with a light Cookie Monster bag, right? And he's like, "Pay attention to your kid. She needs to be more careful." Okay. Again, this is a 2-year-old. Well, the mom in that moment grabbed the 2-year-old. You guys, this broke my heart. And she smacks the child's hand. Okay. This 2-year-old just falls to the ground, just like all boneless, and just falls and starts crying. She has no idea in this moment why her mother has just smacked her, right? And in doing so, they walk away. And in this moment, this 2-year-old has still does not understand what just happened. Now, I wanted to go over there and explain explain Piaget's developmental stages to this family, because they clearly did not understand that this 2-year-old not only did not have rules at all, but wasn't even in the capacity. Her brain doesn't even have the capacity to understand paying attention to somebody else's perspective. Okay. Absolutely doesn't understand it. And in pre-operational stage, children are still trying to learn perspective. It's not until they're in concrete stage, the concrete operational stage, that they have perspective. So they don't know how to share fully. They don't. So yelling at them and telling them that they need to do something when they really don't understand, all that does is put them at mistrust with you. Okay. They don't understand how like two things can work at the same time, because they can only see one thing at a single time. Okay. And you'll see that when we do the Piagetian study in the next module. But you'll see that in these videos as well. So going back to this, how would parents treat, how would they treat that child differently based on their stage? Okay. That's what we're looking at. Looking at this reasonable, how children reason, how they think. How should parents, how should childcare workers how should they be with that child? Then discuss how a parent may rethink their discipline style in this paragraph too. And then lastly, conclude with your own thoughts on the two videos. All right. And then after that, you're going to respond to your two peers. Okay. I think you're going to love these two videos. The first one's change of mind, and the second one, I'm sorry, the first one's, yeah, change of mind. And the second one is all about the magic gears, and you're going to like it. So enjoy this activity. And again, this will relate a lot to the next module when we do our big Piagetian study. You're going to get a chance to work with an actual child and do a study. You'll love it. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.